This episode is brought to you by the Law Office of Carlos A. Garcia. Serious cases require a serious lawyer. Board certified in criminal law.
Hello, this is former 5-time WWE champion Melina, and you are watching PVT.
Hey, it is Charlie Corona here at the RGV Sports Show on hashtag PVT, Professional Valley Talk. And well, look who we ran into. It is Miss Melina. How are you, Melina?
I'm doing good.
Welcome to South Texas.
Oh, it's good to be here.
Earlier, I didn't know your ethnic background. Would you share with everyone, what is your ethnic background?
I am from Mexican descent.
There you go. So did you grow up eating all of the traditional, delicious Mexican food? What did you grow up? What was a typical menu at your house growing up?
All the same beans, rice, tortillas.
Yes.
Carne asada.
Did you have the world famous fideo?
Oh, of course. Of course. I love fideo so much.
You know,
fideo.
I had it so often, so much. And then after I moved out of the house, I was like, you know what? I can't believe this, but I miss fideo. Well, welcome to the RGV. It's great to meet you. And, you know, I actually have been following you on the NWA on Fight TV. And what a fantastic show. How did you meet Mr. Billy Corrigan? How did that whole relationship come about?
Oh, well, I want to say it was about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago where they contacted me and they asked me if I was interested. And I was like, well, tell me a little bit more about this, because I was always nervous about coming back into wrestling and dealing with locker rooms and negative environments and everything, because it could be very negative. It could be very draining, but it's also beautiful. So I'm not going to say like those moments with negative experiences, it wasn't a great time, it wasn't a blessing, because it was a blessing. It's just sometimes bad things come with the job. And I wanted to ask them all these questions, and they told me basically everybody that they said that they were bringing in, I was like, oh, I know that person. Oh, I know that person. And everybody they mentioned, I was like, I love each and every one of those people. I'm like, okay, bring me in. I'm game.
Were you worried more from the physical component or the psychological and the trauma component, emotional trauma?
Yeah, psychological.
Right.
Because it's hard. It's funny because people always say they miss kayfabe, like, oh, back in the day, and I get it, I see it. Like I remember like when I used to watch back in the day, and you believed wholeheartedly, and I love those feelings, I love that time, but then at the same time, you look at how it affects a person psychologically. Like, how do I, the way they are with their family, the way they are with, people, who am I? And for me, I'm stepping away from it. I appreciate it because psychologically I cannot be my character. Like, I am not that person. When people treat you like you're that person and believe in it and create rumors and, don't get to know you and you don't get to be you, nobody teaches you how to survive that or how to, surf the waves of that kind of the negativity, the rumors, how people invade your privacy, all these things that it's just nobody teaches you or warns you about it, so you just experience it. So those are things I had to, learn and rise above and realize that, we didn't sign up for this. We signed up for the wrestling, and that's something that you say, like, I didn't sign up for this. This isn't what I wanted. But you know what? That's what happened, and now we have to figure out a way. How do we survive? How do we keep going on? How do I keep doing my career? And how do I keep having sanity? And you have to make choices. And that's, all through all the good and bad, I learned from it all. It made me a stronger person.
Yeah, it's interesting because you are trained for the ring component.
Yeah, that's easy. Like for me,
it's
hard, but at the same time, I was blessed with being able to take the bumps and to be able to physically be able to be okay with that. I don't mind that. Like, I don't mind. That doesn't hurt. Like, I don't think of it as, oh, I don't want to get hit or I don't want to take a bump. I'm just like, it's part of the job.
Did they elaborate in detail? Hey, by the way, this is going to be in a studio, a little studio. The fans will literally be right over there. Was everything laid out? Did you know all of that going into the NWA?
Oh yeah, they let me know about how this is like, old school. It's like we're going back to old school where it's in it like the studio, and I thought that was brilliant because you know what? I've done arenas, I've wrestled everywhere. Why not try doing a studio? And in a way, it's kind of like when I wrestled in OVW. It was a mini arena, but it was a U-shaped. But now we just take out this side, and then we focus on camera and the audience. To me, no matter what the venue is, even if it's having no fans, that's still amazing to me too. It's an art, and if you could learn how to be a professional at this art, to get good at this, no matter what if there's fans or no fans, studio, arena, and outside of in a field, no matter what the place can be, you're able to do it because you're good at what you do. And to me, I love the challenge. I love the experience. And you'll still get Melina whether there's, if it's a studio set or a huge arena. You'll still have me be intense and have me bring it.
That those studios, it's so weird because you can literally hear each person. So someone can say like an insult, and sometimes the wrestlers will be like, "Oh, shut up, I'm not talking to you." Like it gets real kind of personal, but in a great way. That interaction, you would never get that in a huge arena.
That's so true. And I love that. I love the fan interaction too. Like it's really good, and the fans love it too, to be able to like,
yes.
She just heard what I said.
Yeah, she heard and she told me off. Now, you were able to keep your name. Sometimes that doesn't happen.
Well, that's because it's my legal name. My name is Melina.
So, hey, they can't tell you
They
anything.
can't take my name away. My dad gave me this name. I'm keep it forever.
Did you have to, when you were first signed in the WWE, did you say, I would like to use my name? Or were they just like, just use your name? How did that go about? Because sometimes it can be real tricky, like naming someone and all that.
It's so weird because nobody ever brought it up. Nobody ever said anything like, oh, we're going to end up changing your name, or we're thinking about it. Or nobody said anything. I think because, there's going to be, people are going to argue the fact like, oh, she wasn't the first Latina and da-da-da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, I was the first, I think, Latina that looked like a Latina.
Correct.
And so because, I was the first person to look like a Latina that they hired, well, there was debate whether am I going to speak nothing but Spanish, this and that. Like that's the thought, but they loved the name because it was Latin.
Yeah.
It was a Spanish name. So they loved the sound of Melina. And so they said, we're keeping it.
When you were growing up, were you an avid wrestling fan, or hey, you watched it sometimes and sometimes you didn't? How were you growing up and your relationship with wrestling? How did that work?
Yeah, the weird thing is I guess like I didn't consider myself like a hardcore wrestling fan. It was something we watched every week and we loved it. And it was just like watching all the TV shows. So even though we watched all our favorite TV shows, like we were watching Incredible Hulk, Superman, Batman, then wrestling. Like we just watched it because these were our shows. And so in my mind, it wasn't just wrestling. We liked everything. So wrestling was a part of me growing up. Like it was a weekly thing for me, my brother growing up. And I was telling somebody else that like that was the time my brother, we used to fight all the time. Like it was like we were at war with each other.
And did you punch him like a guy, like as hard as you possibly could?
I tried my best. He's 4 years older. And the funny thing is I loved him. We're good. He's my best friend. So I loved him so much, but he would not accept me. And he would just be so mean to me. So we would just fight. And watching wrestling together, that was the only time we weren't going at like just attacking each other and hating each other. We would sit there next to each other and watch wrestling, and we were at peace and we were on each other's side watching this together. And so that was, to me, those were beautiful times. And I didn't know, I loved watching wrestling. I loved tag teams because that's, in my mind, I thought that'd be, if he would just get over hating me, that'd be me and PJ. Like, we would be together, we'd kick everybody's butts. And that's the way I saw us. Like, we would be, that's life. Me and him, because my parents always told us, it's always going to be you two versus everybody else.
The world.
Yeah.
In the record books, are you the first Mexican-American WWE Women's Champion?
Yeah, that's what they said. They said I was the first of Mexican descent.
Okay. Well, congratulations on that. I mean, hey, check mark for you.
It meant a lot to me because, I never saw somebody like me, for me, growing up watching TV, no matter it was wrestling or any TV show or anything. Like, I saw dark hair, but I didn't see my complexion. I didn't see my eyes. I didn't see like certain features. So, or my body style. Like, usually they're tall and really thin. And I loved what I watched. As a kid, I loved things, but then I felt like there was something wrong with me because I never saw me in somebody else.
Correct.
So I always thought that I was ugly. There's something wrong. I'm always like, something weird's wrong with me. I'll never be accepted. And that's just a kid thinking, you know what I mean, of just watching what they see on TV. Not that a lot of people said anything to me, even though people did growing up. You tend to have people say
Where did
stuff.
you grow up, by the way?
In California.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was, went from East LA to Southgate to Rancho Cucamonga, and then the high desert until my graduation, and then went out into the world.
Yeah, you bring up a good point because, hey, Linda Carter, she's Mexican, but it was like
eyes, even though I love that she is from she, to me it was like she's like me, but then her eyes didn't look like my eyes, and her skin didn't look, and her feature, like her body, gorgeous woman. Like, oh, I cried when I met her because she was my first role model. Like other than my mom, she was the first person I looked up to. And meeting her, oh my goodness, she's just a lovely human being.
Did she know you as a wrestler? Did she know who you were?
I don't like to tell people that.
Oh, okay.
Not that not because it's wrestling, but because I'm not the type of person like, do you know who I am? I do this. Like, I like it when people meet me as Melina, like just not knowing my background, what I've done, or anything. And if they see the good person that's here in front of them, then eventually if we get to know each other, I'll tell you. But it's more of a compliment for me to be me.
If you've been injured in a serious accident or arrested on serious charges, you need an attorney that will fight for you in court. Trust attorney Carlos A. Garcia, because serious cases require a serious lawyer. Call us at 956-584-1448, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.